if it's the firearm itself, it is coming in.
We're the Armed Attorneys. Today we're talking about the considerations when having a customized firearm. Should you have to use it in a self-defense case? Now stick around to the end for a pro tip on whether you should be your own gunsmith. But before we begin, show your support for the Second Amendment by hitting that like button. And when we talk about firearms customization, and I know you do this when you talk to your clients, you break it into two categories, don't you?
Yeah. So in the first category to talk about is your functional customizations, right? Modifying your trigger, your grip, your optics, all of the above, right? If you are doing it to enhance the function of the firearm, to enhance your skill, that is an easier answer, I think. And I think generally we give that the green light when people want to do it. Now, of course, make sure you're not modifying it in a way that creates an AOW or some other sort of illegal item. But do you give your clients a green light? Yeah,
so the lights, lasers, things like that, things that increase your lethality, that make you more effective. You know, it's a self-defense tool at the end of the day. You know, that's a pretty easy green light, assuming that you're not making the firearm exactly illegal.
And it will be used against you, right? I mean, a prosecutor is going to use these modifications against you.
Right.
I can say on the pistol that I carry most often, I have a modified trigger. Right. So, I mean, that's how little that matters to me.
And I'll just say in generally, and I think your experience is probably the same here, prosecutors, investigators, police officers, for the most part, they're not going to recognize this unless they're really tearing into the gun. But even then,
maybe it comes up in the forensic report, but maybe not even.
Right. And so that kind of stuff, your attorneys, they're not going to sweat that. You know, and like we said, the prosecutor's going to use whatever you have on your gun against you. So I wouldn't lose sleep over that. But the one that does cause problems, and we see this appear in court, is probably that second category, the non-function enhancing customization. What are some examples of that? Yeah,
so engravings, colorizations, sayings on your dust cover, right?
Novelty parts.
Right. Things of that nature. It is, they're not helping you in any way, right? In self-defense, in your actual skill with the firearm. And gosh, if you have to use that in self-defense, it is going to be damaging.
Yeah, and they're not all created the same. I mean, I saw one on Reddit that was relatively harmless. It said emotional support gun on the slide plate on the back of the semi-automatic pistol. You know, they range from there to, a dust cover that when it pops open, it says, you're And I mean,
I still don't want a client having to use self-defense with an emotional support pistol.
Right.
Though, I mean, it still is, you're just creating more obstacles for yourself.
Yes. And, and I see this, if your attorney's good, this stuff's not coming into court. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no. So first of all, your attorney has very little to do with it. The judge determines what comes in and what comes out. Is your judge pro-gun or anti-gun? Is your judge blue or red, right? These have way more to do with what gets tossed and what doesn't. Also, if it's the firearm itself, it is coming in.
Yeah,
you cannot get the gun tossed, right?
Exactly right. Yeah. But that kind of brings us to, a tip and question that we get all the time is, should I smith my own gun? And what do you talk to your clients about that?
I say no. And, this might upset some people who really like to do their own work. But here's the deal, is that from a legal perspective, if you are doing your own gunsmithing, you're opening yourself up to potential civil liability. If you do it negligently and someone gets hurt with that weapon, I mean, let's just say it's a negligent discharge, and you have modified the trigger. Do you want to be the one who has opened yourself up to negligence? Get a professional to do it. Also, it supports your local gunsmiths, your local mom and pop shops.
Exactly.
That's always a good thing. We love that.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this discussion. If you did, like this video, consider subscribing, and help us fight the anti-2A algorithm by sharing this video.
And please question and comment below. Until next time, we're the Armed Attorneys.